The floating dock patrol and chain guides are simply attached to the side of the dock and the flexible tubing is lowered to the bottom. The chain is slipped through the slots in the chain guides on each end of the dock, so there's never a need to open your chain during any part of the installation. The excess chain is pulled onto shore and secured to the shoreside anchor point with the same tension you used before. That's all there is to it. Connect the battery and the floating dock patrol will automatically make your adjustments from there. It is interesting to note the unit can actually be located almost anywhere along the chain side of the dock as long as the tubing is secured to the dock in the factory set depth of water. If you don't like the standard factory set depth, we can change that for you before we ship it, or you can simply change the depth yourself with a push of a button. To understand how the floating dock patrol works, let's take a look behind the chain guard. The powerful motor turns the chain wheel. The pockets cast into the chain wheel securely engage the chain as the motor turns the wheel. The motion of the chain is directed parallel to the dock by the lower capstan. The chain slides straight through the chain guides toward the anchor points. When the motor is stopped, it produces 4,000 pounds of holding power to resist wind and waves. When it is moving, it will stop when exposed to 200 pounds of chain tension. To understand how the floating dock patrol knows what to do, let's take a look inside the 4-inch square tube. Inside the tube is a pump and a control box. The control box includes a pressure sensor and photo eye. The air pump simply blows bubbles through the end of the tube to the bottom of the lake. And just as you learned as a kid when blowing bubbles through the straw in your tall glass of milk, it takes more pressure for the pump to blow bubbles out the end of the tube when the tube is in deep water, and less pressure when the tube is in shallow water. The pressure sensor measures the pressure required to blow the bubbles and can actually resolve 1/10 of an inch of water level change. The controller uses the pressure measurement to determine which way the chain wheel needs to move to return the tube to the correct depth of water. Just as the sun comes up each day, the daylight is sensed by the photo eye and then wakes the controller up from its sleep. The pump will turn on and measurements are made to determine if it's too wavy to make an accurate adjustment. If it is too wavy, it will go back to sleep and try again the next morning. Daybreak is a time of day when the water is very calm so accurate adjustments can be made, and is a time of day that is easily sensed. This technique eliminates the need for the owner to set and reset complex DC timers and clocks. If the water is calm, it will measure the depth of the water under the dock. If the water level has dropped below the preset depth, it will turn on the motor so it rotates in the direction needed to put the end of the tube in the preset depth of water and then goes back to sleep until the next morning. Likewise, if the water level has risen, it will turn the motor on so it rotates in the direction needed to put the end of the tube in the preset depth of water and then goes back to sleep again until the next morning. I hope this has helped answer your questions on how the floating dock patrol works. If you have any further questions or would just like to order our revolutionary floating dock patrol, call me, Mark, at 805-217-5350 or email our sales team at info@floatingdockpatrol.com. Thank you for watching.